Hello and welcome. My name's Scott Lee. I'm the director of Lee Local, and firstly, thank you for taking the time to take a look at what we've put together for you. Now, here at Lee Local, what we do is we establish partnerships with local service businesses, and we supply these businesses exclusively with new business throughout the area. Now, how we do that, I'll touch on later in this proposal, but we believe it's certainly a very unique and new way, and I hope it'll be of interest to you. So let me move on. There are 5 specific things that I would like to show you quickly today. Number 1, the map pack. What is it and how the competition are generating hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of business from this map pack. Number 2, taking over Kent's largest roofing markets. It's quite simple. Why only cast one net where we can cast several? Number 3, overtaking the competition. Number 4, what is the real monetary long-term potential of a roofing partnership? What if you were the number 1 to 3 roofing authority in 1/3 of the whole of Kent? Number 5, comparing Lee Local's business model, our risk-free and performance-based approach. Part 1, the map pack. So you may have noticed that when you do a Google search, right at the top, you're shown a map of the area and you're shown 3 local businesses. Now, up to 35 to 65% of business actually goes to these map pack businesses. So what I've done here is I screenshotted the businesses in roofing in Maidstone, Ashford and Canterbury. The reason that I've shown the mobile here on the 5 right is that in 2015 over 50% of all traffic is now done on mobile. And with that big nice call button right next to the listing, these places are now more important than ever. But just how valuable is a single map pack listing? Now I've put that over 3 years because these map pack places were only available from 2012. So these numbers could have only been generated within the past 3 years. On the left hand side, I've got one of the Sevenoaks based map pack entries. And on the right hand side, Bates Roofing from Canterbury. As you can see, they've had over 25,000 views each. Now what this actually means is they have been shown in that map pack to individuals looking for roofing services in Sevenoaks or in terms of Bates in Canterbury. So they have been seen in that map pack by their prospective customers that many times due to their listing. So given the fact that anyone looking at them is obviously looking for a roofing service, let's go for a conservative inquiries of 1 out of 20. So that's 1,000 calls, taking an average of 20k, knocking off a bit for just to be safe. A close rate of around 1 in 5. Having spoken to roofing companies, I believe this is a fair sort of percentage. And the average client, sort of mixture of residential to commercial, I've gone with £3,000. So for each map pack listing, we're looking at around revenue of around £600,000. Important thing to remember as when I show you our business model in the next few slides, this is just for one map pack entry in one location. What's important to remember is if your business is registered in Ashford, you can only have a map pack listing in Ashford, which is where our business model sort of really comes into its own. So our strategy, effectively we identify our area's largest markets and then we ensure that our partners have businesses established in all of these areas, enabling them to duplicate their new revenue generating efforts. Now the 4 areas that we've identified to have the most people looking for roofing services in Kent are Canterbury, Ashford, Maidstone and Sevenoaks. This equates to over 500,000 people or around 1/3 of all of Kent's residents. So what we're looking to do is to make your business an authority in these 4 areas. Part 3, overtaking the competition. This really is the boring geek part. What we do is we look at what the competition are doing best and then we outdo them in every single arena, which then equates to additional revenue for our partner, taking it away from the competition, allowing our partner to scoop up the business that is already available in the Kent area. Part 4, what is the real potential of a long-term roofing partnership between us? So how many people in just the 4 areas that we've identified here are actually looking for roofing services? That number who are looking for roofing, roofers or roofing contractors or roof repairs comes in at over 17,500 people per month just in these 4 areas. Now what I like to do is effectively call bullshit on these numbers, because these numbers are supplied by Google, and it's in Google's interest to for them to be as high as possible, as obviously they sell advertising. So what I like to do to be very safe is I take off a whole 80% off these numbers, and then I judge my estimates on that. So start with 3,600 using the same percentages as before. 5% inquiries, 180 calls. Let's go for a close rate of 10% this time. That's just 18 times 3,000 per client. That's an extra £50,000 per month potential there. Next, I would like to tell you about our business model and what differentiates us from the rest, and why our partners are so happy with the way we do business. So firstly, the number of clients. Well, firstly, we don't call them clients, we call them partners. We have a small handful of select partners throughout the area. We prefer to keep it that way, because that what enables us to do is we are entirely relationship focused. Everything that we build is entirely tailored towards our partner. Next, we are completely business expansion focused. We have the ability to be able to drive 6 and 7 figures amount of business towards our partners. So ultimately, we are looking for someone who has either the capacity or the drive to want to be able to grow their business with us. Exclusivity. Everything that we do and everything that we generate is only generated for our partners. And if we were looking to expand into a new area, well, of course, our partners get first refusal of all new business that we should generate. Next is performance-based pay. I believe this is how all business should be done. We only would get remunerated if our partners get paid and close deals and do business. So if we drive enough business towards you and you have a fantastic month, well then great. We obviously do well off the back of that. Next is guaranteed results and risk-free investment. Is there an initial cost to get this established? Yes, there is. The last deal we did was less than my first car, and my first car was a crappy 106. But we do this because we've been burnt in the past. If we're gonna shake hands with someone and set up a relationship, if we then go and drive £100,000 worth of business their way and they don't close that deal, well then we've incurred all of the costs and all of the risks on our side. But what we do is we have a completely risk-free approach, whereby anything that is needed to establish our costs at the start will be guaranteed to be returned to you within 120 days. What we're looking for just one roofing company out of over 300 in Kent. Again, one company who has the capacity and or want to grow their revenue and their business throughout Kent, and indeed potentially beyond. But it's just the Kent market that I've looked at specifically in this analysis. But of course, as I've said, this strategy can be duplicated anywhere. And of course, we're looking for a partner, not a client. Next, if this is something you would like to expand further, then fantastic. I much prefer doing business face to face. I would love to set up a meeting with you. Please reach back out to me on 07746 708 249. Otherwise, I wish you every success in the future, and thank you for your time.